So everybody wanna smile and raise their hands. I got a razor, in case I gotta do it next. Man, cause you know how niggas be. They wanna see if Pac is real or is he like that nigga in the movie. I guess I gotta prove my point. Slicing mother. Now I'm doing a joint. I got my nigga B.I. to the G beside me. Yeah, on my dick, you know the hoes wanna rob me.
Tupac was one of the most influential and controversial figures in hip-hop history. His raw, honest lyrics gave voice to the struggles of inner-city youth. He was an actor, rapper, activist, and poet who left an indelible mark on popular culture before his tragic death at age 25. This is the story of how an inspired young artist from East Harlem rose to superstardom, became a revolutionary voice for his generation, and achieved an iconic status usually reserved for legends twice his age. Early life and influences. Tupac was born in 1971 in East Harlem, New York, to an active member of the Black Panther Party. His childhood was shaped by the harsh realities of racism, violence, and poverty endemic to the inner cities. But it was also shaped by his mother's activism and teachings of Black liberation ideology. As a teenager, Tupac was highly intelligent and a gifted student, but he also displayed the defiant, revolutionary spirit of his Black Panther upbringing. He joined a Baltimore theater group and discovered his talents for poetry, acting, and dance. It was the beginning of his artistic awakening. In 1988, Tupac's family moved to California. The move immersed the 17-year-old in the emerging West Coast hip-hop scene and the realities of gang culture. These potent new influences, combined with his already questioning mind and Black Panther roots, crystallized into the thug-like persona that would make him famous. Rise to stardom, 1991 to 1995. In 1991, Tupac transferred to a performing arts high school and met his first major mentors, choreographers and rappers who helped refine his stage skills. He landed his first major role as a skinny gangster in the film Nothing But Trouble. And in 1991, he joined the rap group Digital Underground, appearing on hit songs like Same Song and Reality. Tupac's debut solo album Tupacalypse Now was released in 1992. Its confrontational, anti-establishment lyrics about racism, police brutality, and teenage pregnancy generated both massive sales and controversy. This pattern continued with his future solo albums. Mainstream success marred by claims his glorified violence and misogyny. But Tupac's film career also took off, with critically acclaimed roles in Poetic Justice, Above the Rim, and others. His talents were undeniable, but so was his volatility. Throughout this period, Tupac accumulated a lengthy criminal record of charges for assault, harassment, and more. The image of Tupac as a thug poet persona blending hardened street cred and artistic vision was cemented. He attracted legions of young fans drawn to his authenticity and activism around real issues of injustice. But he also had powerful critics who saw a dangerous glamorization of criminality. Jada Pinkett Smith, lifelong friend. We have to talk about one of Tupac's most iconic relationships, his deep platonic friendship with actress Jada Pinkett Smith. The two met in high school at the Baltimore School for the Arts in the 1980s and forged a special bond that would last until eternity. Jada has spoken extensively about their closeness, sharing that Tupac was a hugely positive force who pushed her to pursue her dreams in Hollywood. She's called him one of my best friends and said he was like a brother. Their connection transcended romance and stood the test of time through all Tupac's legal troubles and career rises and falls. In fact, their friendship was so intense that rumors swirled for years about a possible romantic relationship between the two. Jada has consistently shut down those rumors, but their chemistry and affection for one another was palpable. She shared that they did at one point consider taking their relationship to the next level, but decided their soul bond as friends was too important. Ultimately, Jada was one of the few people who saw beyond Tupac's rough exterior and thug persona. She experienced firsthand his heart, sensitivity, loyalty, and humanity, and even saw his good guy side and his bad boy thuggish side. She called Tupac one of my best friends. He was like a brother. Their friendship was clearly one of the great loves of his life, even if it never became physically romantic. Prison, shootings in East Westfield, 1995 to 1996. In 1995, Tupac's troubles reached a boiling point. He was convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to prison. While serving time, he was shockingly set upon and beaten by police in a blatant act of excessive force and racial injustice. Soon after prison, Tupac was caught up in escalating violence, first a robbery and shooting in a studio, then the infamous and still unsolved murder of his friend. In response, Tupac seemed to embrace the violent persona of his music, launching an inflammatory East-West feud against rival East Coast rappers. At the peak of this feud in 1996, Tupac was shockingly shot multiple times in an ambush in Las Vegas. He miraculously survived, checking himself out of hospital to return to the studio while still recovering. But the attempt on his life marked the beginning of a tragic final chapter. Death and Legacy, 1996 to 1997. In the aftermath of the shooting, Tupac's music embraced a more intensely paranoid, nihilistic, and hateful tone. His life spun further out of control with more legal troubles and erratic behavior. Then, on September 7, 1996, the shocking happened. Tupac was shot 4 times in another ambush in Las Vegas. This time, the bullets proved fatal. Tupac clung to life for 6 days before dying on September 13th at just 25 years old. His murder was yet another act of still unsolved violence in a life marred by brutality. Tupac's death sparked international mourning and transformed him into an instant icon and martyr for his generation of disaffected youth. His remaining works were released posthumously to massive sales as fans hungered for his honesty and depth. Over 20 years later, Tupac remains one of the top-selling music artists of all time with over 75 million records sold. His films are celebrated as ahead of their time in representation. He is remembered as the rose that grew from concrete, the emblem of hope rising from poverty and oppression, who used his art to depict the injustice he witnessed. Tupac's complex duality of thug and poet, revolutionary and destructive force, endures because it mirrored the conflicted spirit of his turbulent times. He will forever epitomize the heroism and tragedy of an uncompromising artist taken before his time. The payoff, from the playgrounds of Harlem to the stage of the world, Tupac's journey was the embodiment of perseverance, truth, and fighting for something bigger than oneself. His troubled life and violent death at 25 were a harsh injustice to a rare talent and revolutionary mind. But through his powerful art and enduring spirit, Tupac's legacy and influence only continues to grow.
The good part about it is that we get to show the human side of the cops doing what they do, because it is always my belief that cops are just a gang unto themselves, with the good and the bad. Just like I believe the gangbangers in the street got good and bad, like police officers do. They got stress and they got character flaws that come from their lifestyles. I could be the best actor anybody ever seen.